these three colors, which give a reflection of the rising sun, shall be very positive for you in 2026. You've also got to watch your weight issues because you gaining on more weight is a significant possibility during 2026. The biggest change came when I actually went ahead and changed the spelling of my name itself. Hi guys, welcome back to Dev Astrology. Today I have come up with an offbeat video for this channel because it is something that we are doing for the first time. Yes, we are talking about numerology. And this assures you that I do listen into your feedback, I do read your comments, I do go through the inputs that you guys provide. And yes, whilst I might not be able to provide answer to each and every comment, I do spare time to go through, analyze what my audience is suggesting, and I try to work upon them. Now, some of you might be surprised that why Dev Astrology is talking about numerology. Well, there is an interesting anecdote that I would want to share with you. First of all, if you go ahead and check out my social handles, you would notice that I do use numbers across the board, which reflects in the email of Dev Astrology. It reflects into our YouTube, our Instagram, Facebook handles for that matter. But quite interestingly, even before I started my journey with Vedic astrology, being a young kid back in India, I had this huge interest in terms of figuring out what numbers do. I enjoyed mathematics, but that has nothing to do with numerology. There was this article that I had read, I think whilst I was in grade 10, 15 and a half, 16 years old, which talked about numerology and the Chaldean method. One thing led to another, and I had developed huge interest in that space, and that is why I had always used it for my own personal interpretations in terms of minor changes that I would want to incorporate in my life. But the biggest change came when I actually went ahead and changed the spelling of my name itself and officially reinstated a different spelling versus what was given to my parents. And the reason I'm sharing this is that a lot of times one might think that it's just about creating yet another video. But I wanted to take a fresh attempt in bringing my own perspective as to how I see numerology impacting our lives. Now, with that background, hopefully it gives you a lot of sense and clarity as to what we are going to be discussing today. So guys, for numerology 2026 predictions, what I've done is that we've of course put in some of our thought processes across all those numbers. But before we jump into that analysis, it's important for us to understand that what this year is going to be about. 2025 totaled up to number 9. And that is why this was an year that was about the last one from its 1 to number 9 life cycle. And it could have brought drastic changes, closures, endings. Whilst number 1, which is the end outcome for 2026, 2 plus 2 plus 6 equals 10, which is eventually shimmering down to the last number 1, is ruled by Sun. And in this cycle of 1 to 9, it denotes new beginnings. Guys, 2026 is going to be all about action. 2026 is going to be all about execution. It is ruled by the planet Sun, and from a Vedic astrology standpoint, it denotes your call to action from a soul perspective. Now, we are not going to mix numerology with Vedic astrology, and I want to make that absolutely clear from the perspective that in Vedic astrology, there is a concept of Samvat, which is the Hindu calendar, and that is not the depiction of 2026. Numerology is a different science altogether. And being the learning occultist that I am, I'm always open to ideas. I'm always open to different genres, different perspectives for that matter. And therefore, I said that I want to make this attempt to share my perspective as to what this year is going to look like. So let's get started with an understanding of what would be the destiny number or the year number for you guys, the personal year number that you have to evaluate. Now, folks, the calculation for your personal year number is going to be coming on the basis of your date of birth. What you have to keep in mind is you have to pull in your date, your month, and ignore the year, but change that to 2026. So let's say if you are born on November 14th, which means that the month count is 11, the 14th date is 1 4, whilst the year is 2026. So you can break this down with 14 as 1 plus 4 equals 5, 11 as 1 plus 1 equals 2, and 2026 is going to total down to 1, which means 5 plus 2 plus 1 will be equivalent to 8. And therefore, your personal number for the year 2026 is going to be number 8. You can choose any example for that matter, and you are going to derive the number based on which you should go ahead and watch this video. For the people with number 1 as the total, guys, this is the year of Sun, since 2026 is totaling to Sun, is totaling to 1. And if your number is also 1, you are going to find twice the energy of Sun coming into life. This is going to be the period of new beginnings, new starts. It is going to be like Phoenix rising coming into play for you folks. You have to understand it's the 9-year cycle that we refer from a numerology perspective. And this is the beginning of that new year cycle, which means that you will have to think about yourself. Now, guys, I'm not talking about being selfish here, but I'm suggesting that you've got to think about your goals, your ambitions, your desires coming into play. Now, let's talk about career and money as the first highlight. Number 1, this is going to be the year that can bring entrepreneurial leap for number 1 people. It's going to be a time where you are going to have the opportunity to start something new, to leapfrog in terms of the businesses that you've been running for a while, that you've been engaged. If you are a self-employed person, you might take newer initiatives towards new product areas, new service lines that you might want to introduce. There is a strong chance that you would be interested in bringing in automation, technology, some sort of a shift with respect to your leadership mindset coming into play that is more sort of visionary by nature. And therefore, it is going to be an opportune period from number 1 perspective to get started with your own independent ideas. Number 2, it's going to be a great period for people who are working in job roles but looking for leadership positions. Guys, this is going to be phenomenal because you are going to advance yourself with your own authority. You are going to come up with newer ideas, broader thinking, and you are going to be taking charge as a leader. You are trying to bring in folks working for you, with you, around you in a herd, ensure that you are able to capitalize on the resources that are available to you and make full use of it. This means that it can result into powerful positions, which is going to bring additional amount of responsibility as well on your head. Number 3, it's going to bring in a certain degree of financial independence in your life. Now, why do I say that? It is not necessary that everybody might have a shift with respect to an entrepreneurial leap or with respect to a promotion in your job space where you're operating. There are higher chances that many of you might choose routes for freelancing. You might get started with a hustle of some sort. Some of your passion projects might hit the road in the year 2026. There is going to be a substantial amount of urge within you guys to figure out that how can you find your own feet? How can you collaborate with additional set of people? And therefore, this culmination of doing something by yourself, doing something new, plans that have been there in your head, in your mind, in your soul, but have never seen fruition, 2026 gives the possibility of you engaging in those areas. Moving on to your love and relationships. The first call out here is that there could be new passionate beginnings coming into play in terms of your relationships. People who are single, you could find opportunities to date a new person, to get introduced yourself with renewed amount of confidence, vitality, and vigor. Number two, self love is going to be the phenomena for you folks. As I said earlier in the video, that don't be selfish. Think about yourself first, your ambitions, your desire, your goals, and that is where you are going to prioritize yourself as well. Now, this could mean in terms of your physical fitness, it could mean in terms of your health, your diet, your career. You are going to choose priority for yourself in a relationship. And no relationship, guys, in this world is a 50-50 equilibrium. There are situations when there comes a 60-40, 70-30, 80-20 kind of a split. This doesn't mean that I'm asking you to only be self engrossed, but all I'm saying is that you could need partners who are helping there, supporting you, holding your hands together where you want to take a bigger leap through the course of this period. Number three, from a love and relationships perspective, the biggest risk that comes into picture for some of you is that the me focus, the I focus could be very high. And that means there could be some bit of a distance as well that you might end up creating with your family, with your loved ones, with your parents for that matter. You might have to prioritize over your career. You could be required to change your residence. You might be required to shift to a new place. And therefore, please do not construe this from a selfish mindset perspective. The situations could be such that they might demand some sort of relocation, pivoting into new places. And you might have to explain this as well to your family members, to your near and dear ones. But it will be a key priority coming in through the course of this year. Now, from a health perspective, I would want to call out that number one, your head and your eyes are going to be a key focus. This excessive amount of work, the initiative that you are going to be taking, the impact could be coming into these areas of life for people with the personal number one. So be mindful of your health on that perspective. Your overall vitality looks great during this year. However, migraines, blood pressure related changes, etc., might be bothering you to a certain extent. Number two, you have to figure out to let go your ego or navigate egotistical situations smartly, because the year is ruled by sun, and therefore that arrogance, that authoritarian behavior might be nudging some of the people in the wrong direction, especially at your workplace. Last but not the least, guys, I would want to call out that the lucky colors for you folks in this year is going to be the tune of gold, orange, or ruby red sort of colors. A lot of people go about ruby red in terms of their gemstone methodology as well, if you follow in that landscape. But these three colors, which give a reflection of the rising sun, shall be very positive for you in 2026. I hope you have a fantabulous year ahead. And if you are liking the initiative and the thought process that I'm bringing here, guys, smash on that like button, subscribe to Dev Astrology, and keep following me. Now, folks, with people number two, you've got to understand that two is ruled by moon. And 2026 for you guys is going to be the year of connections. If number one year was all about sowing the seeds, the second year is going to be about waiting. It's going to be about watering those seeds. It's going to be about expansion in all those areas. You've got to understand that since moon rules number two, it is going to be about networking. It is going to be about forging new connections. Moon is seen as a trader, and therefore you are going to be expected to bring that partnership mindset, that collaboration mindset throughout the year 2026. However, it is also going to be coupled with patience. If I were to break down the key areas that you have to look forward in 2026, from a career and money aspect, the first bit that is going to be crucial is that it is about collaboration. 2026 is going to be a period where you've got to forge new connections. You have to expand on your professional networking. Now, this could mean that you can leverage social media tools like LinkedIn or others, but as well as think about going about doing local travels, driving to your within the city and just breaching the city limits to meet people throughout this year. And that is going to be the reason for the success coming in your life. It is not going to be about you acting as the hero, but leveraging those connections, bringing the larger energy of the people in your life to make sure that you get those lucrative long term gains. Number two, it's going to be about diplomacy. This is going to be a period where your communication, this is going to be the period where your negotiation skills, where your interactions, interpersonal skills are going to be absolutely crucial. And therefore, people who are working in job roles or in careers that requires you to interface and use speech and communication to your fullest becomes crucial. Therefore, mass media related businesses, HR, salespeople, or anything that requires you to interface with as many people possible becomes crucial. It also is interesting for people who are operating in money markets, in trading industries, because that is where your sharp skills are going to come into picture. The third area is going to be about your cash flow from a career and money standpoint. While 2026 is depicting steady, slow, but cash flow coming into your bank account. Now, this might come with respect to shared services, shared resources that you are going to leverage, but it is going to be about climbing the ladder one step at a time. We are not talking about any leap jumps through the course of this year. So continue with your hustle, continue with your solo hustle mindset through the course of 2026. Now, from love and relationships perspective, 2026 is going to be one of the best years from your romantic life perspective. This is a time where you will be able to forge new connections in terms of your romance, in terms of new relationships coming to life. Passion is going to be at the highest level because we're talking about moon being the lord of the year for you folks. Then you have to understand that this is the time where many of you might materialize your plans to get married, to forge a new commitment, a bond of sorts, which means getting into fresh romantic connections is highly probable. Your emotional quotient is also going to be high, and that becomes the second highlight for this year. You might feel or find yourself extremely emotionally sensitive. Your own mood will fluctuate based on your network, your people, your partner, your family's moods throughout 2026. There is going to be a significant impact in your decision making as well, which is going to come into picture based on how you are reading that interaction with your partners, or the intuition level connect with people could also skyrocket throughout 2026. Then third bit that is becoming crucial is that healing effect or some sort of rifts that you had seen in 2025 is going to settle down in 2026 for you. You are going to heal yourself emotionally, mentally, and you will have a stronger willpower to counter problems with respect to people, specifically in a personal setup in and around you. This is going to be a time where you might choose to forgive people. You might choose to let go of past situations and think ahead. When we look into the health matters for this year for number two people, it's important that you have to understand that digestive related matters or fluid retention related issues will become crucial for you. Why do I say that? Because moon is the ruler of water. And you've got to remember that good intake of liquid in your diet should be a part and parcel of the game. Consuming things which are made of milk products can also be especially beneficial, like having buttermilk. Milk, for that matter, if you are lactose intolerant, situations could differ, but you have to figure out to have more of a fluid consumption throughout 2026. From a caution perspective, I would want to say that, guys, oversensitivity can be an issue for you folks. Getting too much engrossed emotionally on a certain subject topic might bring in self harm. So avoid that negativity. If that situation is arising, try and create a barricade around it. From colors standpoint, white, silver, cream, the color tones that depict moon are going to be especially suitable for you in 2026. I hope, guys, you have a fantabulous year ahead. And if you've liked the effort, the attempt that is gone in creating this video, I would request you to please smash on that like button, subscribe to Dev Astrology, and keep following me. Thank you. For people with personal number three, well, this number is ruled by the planet Jupiter. And this year, 2026, is the year of expression for you guys. This is going to be the year where your creative juices are going to be oozing out to their fullest. It's going to be an year of self expression. It's going to be an year of communication, mass media, and visibility coming into your life. If we were to break this down on the three key heads of career, health, and love and relationships, the first and foremost point is going to be about your career. Number one, you are going to try and monetize your creativity. But the monetization of your creativity is going to come into picture only when you have enough visibility. And therefore, in your career, your goal will be to be more and more visible to your target audience, to your peers, to your customers. I see substantial growth coming in for people who are operating in structures that requires them to bring that sort of a visibility, leveraging their oral, written, or any form of communication for that matter, which means social media industries on YouTube, Instagram, etc. That's a good place for you to be operating this year. The other possibilities for people who are operating as journalists, writers, communicators of sorts, creative directors, creative writers for that matters. Publishing industry is going to be crucial for you folks throughout the course of this year. Salespeople who leverage their communication to close deals, or artists who have to use their vocal cords, who have to use expression in any form, pictorially, visually, from an audio perspective, from your voice. All of those areas are going to be phenomenal because you can turn your advantage into gold. Number two is going to be about the luck in business coming into picture. See, Jupiter is the general significator of bringing in abundance and prosperity. And from a luck perspective, there is a high probability that people with personal number three will have the right opportunities coming and falling onto their laps itself. You will find that the activation of this Jupiter or number three for 2026 is going to be that your creative ideas, once published somewhere, might be able to catch the right eyeballs and therefore result into proactive opportunities that you might have not hunted for. Number three is going to be about spending spree coming into picture. Since it is about the expression from a creative pursuit perspective, there is a strong chance that you would also go about making some key investments throughout the course of this year. And therefore, spending is definitely going to be on a rise for you folks. You are going to, by the way, invest this money, and I should not be calling this as expenses because this investment is only going to help you flourish in your craft. And therefore, learning something new, adding that wisdom, adding to your creativity and intelligence should not be seen as an expense, but the very needed investment that you've got to make. This will also open the doors for you to embark upon luxury travel of sorts, and that is a very strong possibility for people with number three. Now, moving on with respect to love and relationships. Well, this is going to be a time where you might act as a social butterfly. The reason I say this is that there is a very high chance that you might gain significant amount of popularity in your network circle. People are going to respect your out of the box thinking. They are going to respect how smart and spontaneous you are with respect to your words, your communication, your articulation. Single people have significant amount of chances to double themselves this year, which means that you might have the right possibility of attracting the right partner in your life. Number two, if you are a married person, there is going to be a degree of creative joy, marital bliss, which is going to be bestowed on you this year. There is a significant chance that many of you will take vacations, traveling, journeys together with your beloved, with your spouse, discovering new places or discovering new shared hobbies like playing pickleball together or solving that game of Sudoku or anything for that matter that comes to your mind might become your top priority. Sharing a bit of laughter, happy times together, engaging in small get-togethers is going to be the key for 2026. The third bit is that you will look forward to reconnect with old friends. There is going to be a definitive chance of revival of old partnerships, old friendships coming in your life, and expansion of your social circle as well throughout 2026. Now, from a health perspective, you've got to understand that your throat and your liver area is going to be crucial throughout this year. And therefore, the quality of food that you are consuming, especially the liquid diet, is going to be important. And when I say liquid diet here, any kind of alcoholic liquor consumption can turn dangerous. You've also got to watch your weight issues because you gaining on more weight is a significant possibility during 2026. Number two is that you have to be cautious around scattering of your energy. Now, the reason I have said this is that there could be 100 terrific ideas that might be coming on top of your mind. And you have those creative juices oozing out of you, which means that you might want to execute them all. But that is not going to be practically possible, guys. And therefore, prioritization of the ideas and figuring out that what is the right thing to do at the right time is going to be crucial for your success in 2026. Now, last but not the least, from a colors perspective, yellow and purple seem to be the right colors throughout the year in 2026. Guys, if you've enjoyed watching this reading, I'll request you to please smash on that like button, subscribe to Dev Astrology, put in your comments that Dave, I loved or I hated your numerology 2026 predictions, and I would love to get your feedback. Now, people with personal number 4, you guys are going to be ruled by Rahu for this year. And this year is going to be about laying down your foundation. It is going to be about the grind. Well, I must tell you, the party is over for number 4 from that perspective, because if you are putting in that extraordinary amount of grind, that hard work, rubbing your nose on the grindstone for that matter, then the results are definitely going to be falling in your favor. After all, for number 4, it's a contradictory situation. It's an inimical situation with 2026, given that he is the ruler or Sun is the ruler of the year. So, since number 4 is governed by Rahu, it is going to be about shredding those shortcuts anymore and taking the hard path which can deliver success for you this year. From a career perspective, the first thing that I would want to highlight is that your grind is going to be paying off this year. All the efforts that you would have put with respect to your business, with respect to your self-employment, or with respect to your job, the hard work that was going in for that promotion that was eluding you. 2026 in that case is going to be rewarding for all that previous hard work. However, if you were enjoying some sort of a gala time, please do not expect any shortcuts, any leap of success coming in your way. There is going to be no overnight success unless and until you are toiling hard to achieve your goals. It is going to be about a slow climb unless and until that accumulation has already happened before. The second bit is that real estate and assets are going to be the key for you this year. Well, for number 4 people, there is a very strong chance that you are going to buy some sort of land, property, home, assets, some bit of an investment with respect to the income that you are going to be making. You will be redirecting that into these areas. I think gone are the days where any kind of gambling, speculation, etc. is going to be working out, and therefore I recommend avoid initiation in those areas, but go about the safer paths that can give the assured outcomes for you. The third bit is there will be some level of contractual stability that might be coming into picture. And that is the right path to choose number 4 people if number 4 is your personal number for the year 2026. By that I mean that any long-term contracts, any long-term bonds that bring slow but steady income for you, that gives you a vision for the long term, will be super helpful for you. If you've been working in a contractual position and looking for permanent roles, well, then 2026 can bring that amount of stability in your life if you are again ready to grind. Remember, guys, this is the year which is going to be about that hard work that is required. From a love and relationships standpoint, this year is going to bring tests of some sort. And more importantly, your commitment tests. There will be red flag situations that will come into picture. Any kind of casual flings can be detrimental during this year. At the same time, you've got to understand that if you seek stability, longevity in your relationships, in your life, then offering the same is going to be crucial. Any kind of shaky foundations in relationships can be again tricky for them, and you could find that the relationships might be reeling under pressure if the foundation is not right. Moving in together, or starting new initiatives together, new partnerships together, getting engaged to a new partner, those kind of key decisions will be a part and parcel for 2026 for you guys. Number 2, practicality in love. This is not going to be an year where you should be showcasing absolute practicality. This is going to be an year where you will have to show some degree of act of service. If I remember correctly, there are 5 love languages. One of them happens to be act of service. I think there is quality time, physical touch, gifts, and something more I'm forgetting. If somebody is watching this carefully, please pen that down there. And the important bit is that act of service from a love perspective is going to be crucial. Helping your spouse maybe clean the kitchen or helping him wash the car on one of the weekends. Those kind of initiatives are going to be important. When the chips are down, bringing that hot cup of coffee with a pancake and boosting the morale up. This is the kind of element that is going to be required. You've got to bring service in your relationships, and that is going to be crucial. This year is not about writing poetry. It is not about singing those songs and romantic gestures. Romantic gestures will have to come out in how you make yourself useful to your partner. And number 3, from a relationship standpoint, is your family duty. Well, this is the year where you might have to undertake some additional responsibility as well for your family members, for your parents for that matter. You might have to step up in situations. And if you are a youngster watching this video, guys, this is the year that is going to teach you how hard and difficult life is being a parent. And you might have to share some of your responsibilities of your parents with your parents for your parents, especially if you have aging parents or who have any kind of difficulties. This is going to be the foundational year where you step into that sort of a role and build the right karma for future. From a health perspective, I would want you to take absolute care of your joint, bones, teeth for that matter. Some sort of risky situations might come into picture where number 4 people might have issues with respect to injuries. So be watchful in that front. You might have to face difficulties with stiff back as well, and therefore inculcating some bit of exercise in your regimen is going to be crucial. So gymming on a regular basis is going to be helpful, or any activity that you prefer. From the caution perspective, I would want to call out that don't bring extraordinary amount of rigidity in your life. Do not be stubborn with respect to decisions in your relationships, in your career. Showing some level of flexibility is going to be especially crucial for you. You've got to let that wall of security or maybe insecurity down a bit. From colors perspective, this is the year where blue, gray, and earthy tones, those darkish, subtle tones, are going to be especially helpful for you, and you could leverage them for your key occasions, your key dates. Now, guys, if you've loved this attempt, if you appreciate that the insights I've brought through this video, I'll request you to please smash on that like button, subscribe to Dev Astrology, and keep watching. I would love to get your thoughts. Now, people with personal number 5, 2026 is going to be the year of freedom. It is going to be a year of expression. This is the year where you might choose to be carefree. You might choose to be independent. You might choose to charter your own path in the direction of adventure, new growth in career. Something independent is going to thrill you. In fact, thrill is the right word that I'm looking for here. You are going to be fast, maybe erratic, quick in your decision making, moving fast in terms of your target or the journey that you want to embark upon. Number 5 is ruled by Mercury. And for 2026, your key highlights are going to be coming with respect to career, money, and health. And that is what we are going to touch upon. Starting with respect to your career and money, the first thing is the career pivot that you are going to make this year. There is a very strong chance that now you would try to break the shackles. You might want to become independent and not limit yourself on the confines of what you've been operating so far. Many of you might be making moves cross industry spectrums. You might look forward to get into a new role that you've never embarked before. If you've been feeling shackled in the work that you've been doing so far, 2026 is the year where you can liberate yourself. Doing freelance work, starting with a side hustle in parallel to what you're doing, or pivoting your career into a new industry domain itself is a strong possibility coming in for you guys. Number 2, this is going to be about marketing, media, and communication. People who are working in roles that require sales, marketing, interface with multiple people, interactions of sorts, social media and media in general, journalism kind of work, lawyers and attorneys who have to actually deliberate within the court, where you have to interact with people, communicate your ideas. All those professions can bring you massive fame and success in 2026. And the third bit from a career and money perspective is that being a gig worker or being a creator of sorts, as I said earlier in the side bit, that being a hustler of sorts, doing some sort of activity outside of your conventional work is going to become your top priority. I would not be surprised if many people with personal number 5 are going to look for multiple sources of income. You might have a day job, but you might want to have that small restaurant, that cafe, a food truck in place that enthralls you, or maybe doing, a passion project like myself. I love to talk about astrology on my channel here. So doing something where you leverage your communication, where you articulate your thought process and create an additional stream of income for yourself is going to be the key call out. When we move towards love and relationships, well, this is going to be a time where some sort of magnetic attraction might come in your life. I see a very strong chance that your own charisma could be of the charts. You could be extraordinary with your comic timing, with your expression, with your ideas. You could be funny to the opposite gender or same gender if that is your liking. This is going to be a time where you will bring some bit of thrilling activities, and therefore you would love to bring adventure sports, adventurous activities that you might want to do in conjunction, in collaboration with your partner. I keep getting the request of bungee jumping or skydiving from my partner, and like I don't have the guts to do that. I'm scared of heights. Vertigo is an issue, but I think for you folks with personal number 5 for this year, guys, there's a very strong chance that you will bring that ability to the table. Then number 2 is travel based romance. Now, what do I mean that? It's a weird word that I've chosen here. But travel based romance, I mean, is that there could be two possibilities. Number 1, you could find up a new partner whilst you're traveling throughout the course of this year. You might end up connecting with somebody, and that, triggers the spark between the two of you, and a new romantic connection might start brewing. And on the other side of the spectrum, if you are already in a committed relationship, if you are working on some sorts, then you might prioritize a lot of travel throughout the course of this year. And that would be fun travel. It would be mixed with adventurous activities or discovering new places. You might choose to do cheap thrills, if I may say. It's not going to be about lavish spending, but, making the right use of money for the right excitement in life. And third, but not the least, there could be some degree of volatility in your relationships as well. Because of your charisma, because of your communication, your grandeur, your style, your panache, your partner might also feel a bit insecure or jealous of yourself. And that is where you'll have to navigate things carefully, because they might feel that you are gaining a lot of attention and attraction from other people around. You might have to figure out ways to spice things up in your own relationship and keep it alive. And that becomes crucial for you, which means any kind of hobbies, any kind of adventure sports, any kind of travel inculcated along with your partner is going to be a natural remedy in this case. Now, from a health perspective, number five, I want you to remember that any kind of nervous system issues, any kind of skin related matters, insomnia, anxiety related issues, they could bother you. In fact, teeth related issues would also give you jitters throughout the course of this year. So be watchful on those areas from your health standpoint. The other caution is overall, there could be an extraordinary amount of impulsiveness in you. Whilst that is great, but that spontaneity could mean that you are ending up doing a spontaneous purchase. So spending might come into picture. Your reactions towards people might also be impulsive, and that could create grudge difficulties in your relationships too. So be watchful on that front. Now, from a colors perspective, green, turquoise, or sea green color, blue green color are going to be the favorite colors, and they're going to be fortunate colors throughout the year for you. Now, if you guys have enjoyed the effort and the insights that I've brought to the table, I request you folks to please smash on that like button, subscribe to Dev Astrology, and keep watching for more astrology related insights that I bring on my channel. Thank you. Now, with people with personal year number 6, I've already discussed how that calculation has to be done earlier in the video. Number 6 is ruled by the sign Venus, and 2026 is going to be the year of responsibility for you guys. This is going to be the year where you will have to nurture your family, your home, your loved ones. You might have to choose to prioritize people around you over and above yourself. This year is not about exploring newer destinations or exploring new stuff, but it is going to be about nurturing, making things better what you already have. First and foremost, from a career perspective, you are going to see a shift coming in from a servitude perspective. This year is going to bring success if you are offering service. Now, this doesn't mean that you have to be in a job. I am talking about bringing healing, teaching, counseling, meditation, offering something in whatever you do, which means if you are self employed as well, if you are running your business, maybe you are selling some products, or if you are employed in a full time job, or if you are a homemaker, in all these areas, that mindset of doing something to make things better is going to become crucial. In your product, you've got to combine high quality service, grow in your career, in your business. In your job, you might have to go over and above beyond the description of your job to take in more mantle on top of your head. Or from a family perspective as well, if you're a homemaker, this is going to be crucial because you might have to teach your kids, you might have to counsel your spouse, give them an outside in perspective as to what they can do better. Number 2 is going to be about home-based businesses. This is going to be a year where you are going to start something new from the security, from the vicinity of your home. Potentially, you will be investing into newer areas where you may want to ship something from an e-commerce perspective. Maybe shift your working style into a more hybrid or work from home culture. This might also mean that many of you could embark upon DIY initiatives throughout the course of this year. Your home garden, your backyard, that curtain that you want to, do your embroidery on, those kind of things are going to be on top of your head. You might want to open up your motorcycle and, repair that engine, fix that clutch brake yourself. So working on your home, working on your assets, on your property is going to be crucial, and it is going to be a part and parcel of the karma that you are going to be embarking in 2026. Number 3 is going to be about financial stability. This year, your focus will be maintaining stable inflow of cash flow, and you will ensure that you are catering to the needs of your home and your family life. You would be any high risk ventures throughout 2026, and you will be focused towards steady accumulation of wealth in 2026. From a love and relationship standpoint, Guys, I see a very strong possibility that culmination of relationships into marriage, full-time commitments, committed engagements are going to come into picture. There's a strong possibility that if you've been in a relationship or if you're eyeing to get married, 2026 is going to bring some positive light on that sphere of life. It also means that if you are not in a relationship and plan or anticipate to get into one, there will be a good chance of you getting committed into some sort of a situation. The second bit is going to come with respect to the visit of the stocks. Well, if you would have watched the movie Stocks, the birds were the delivery of babies, and I see progeny coming into picture, expansion of family members, new kid, some auspicious event in which a new family member itself gets welcomed in your life. All those possibilities are there. Guys, it can also mean that many of you could choose to become parents of animals, plants for that matter. While I chose to adopt a dog, my spouse typically loves adopting a lot of plants, and my backyard is all lush green. And many of you will find that satisfaction, that relaxation, that peace of mind whilst doing something of that sort as well. So it's going to be like expansion of your family and peace of mind in terms of growth of life in your home. The third bit is you are going to be healing in 2026. Any kind of rifts, any kind of confusions, any kind of issues that have lingered for a long amount of time, 2026 is the year where you could yourself be that counselor for your family or for yourself. You would have the ability to forgive people. You will have the ability to counsel people, advise them on relationships and mend things. And that is going to be almost like a superpower for this year. From a health perspective, I would want you to take, due care of your kidneys, your throat, your hormonal issues, and genital related matters as well. That is going to be crucial throughout this year. Now, the important thing is that whilst you are trying to do good for everyone, this is the word of caution in 2026. Please find some time for yourself. The perfect wife, the perfect husband, the perfect daughter or son, that should not be the aim. Yes, you are not going to leave any stone unturned when it comes about your relationships, being that right friend. A friend in need is the friend indeed. Be that person, but just be on the lookout for your own matters, for your own physical self too. From a colors perspective, this is going to be a good year with respect to lightish blue, lightish pink colors that are bright and they will bring happiness. You must wear them on key occasions. And guys, if you've loved this perspective on Numerology 2026, I request you to please smash on that like button, subscribe to my channel, Dev Astrology, and share your perspective that, Dave, I absolutely hated it, or I loved the attempt that you made in here. Thank you. Now, if your personal number is 7, then number 7 is ruled by Ketu. Or from a Western astrology perspective, it is ruled by Neptune. Now, guys, this is going to be an year which is going to talk about your spiritual growth. It is going to be an year about research. It is going to be about going deep into minuscule matters of life, understanding them. This is not going to be an year where you have to chase things, but you have to be receptive for the universe to conspire and bring things to your direction. It's going to be about in a meditative state. It is going to be about manifestation in this year. From a career, work, karma perspective, the first thing that I would want to highlight is that you have to be the researcher of sorts. You've got to look into some sort of specialization throughout 2026. No matter what walk of life you come from, try and figure out what is that one area of perfection, what is that one area of expertise that I can inculcate in myself. And that is going to be the pivotal turning point for 2026 for you folks. The second bit is unexpected gains are going to fall through. If you are chasing money, if you are chasing the dollar, if you're chasing the bills, well, they are going to be eluding you throughout 2026. But if you chase perfection, if you chase quality, if you chase research, The universe will again conspire to make things happen, and least when you anticipate, money is going to be not your biggest problem. In fact, gains should materialize the way you desire now. The third bit is there is going to be a degree of isolation which is going to creep up, especially from a workplace perspective. There is a high chance that you might be working remote. You could be taking responsibilities to work in a individual contributor capacity, or there could be some sort of a dynamic shift that might come into your life from your career and work perspective. You've got to be careful on that front and not react to situations. There could be impact of layoff as we are seeing in the industry all throughout, but some of you might also face the risk of having the same. There could be situations of endless meetings, endless reach outs, but effort is what you'll have to focus on, and that is the riskier bit that I wanted to allude to. From your relationships and love perspective, this is going to be a time where you will respect some degree of space. There is a chance that you would want to carve out your own cave, your own peaceful zone where you are not disturbed. Now, this could be considered as the meditative zone for yourself in your relationship. Now, I'm not saying that relationships are coming to an end, but yes, there is going to be a time in the day where you would want to go out and regenerate yourself emotionally and mentally. So be focused in that direction as well. Working, let's say, in the kitchen, cooking something when that gives you energy, or playing that game on your video console to just take time from all the hassles of life may not be a bad idea. It's recuperating by nature. The second thing is the connections that you are going to forge this year are going to be spiritually motivated, spiritual connections for that matter. There's a high chance that many people, who've been dating any kind of superfluous, superficial relationships will now be coming to an end. And in fact, this is the year where true bonds are going to prosper. There is going to be growth with people with whom you connect at a deeper level. If you are already in such a relationship, there is going to be a tremendous elevation of sorts that you can anticipate with the shift of this year. And third, last but not the least, there is going to be a test of your bonds, of your relationships, of your connections. And when I say this, I just don't mean your love relationship. It could be your family bond with mother and son, daughter and father, any relationship with your friends as well. There will be some degree of test, and only true commitments will hold on in 2026, and rest everything is anticipated to dissipate. From a health perspective, you've got to take focus towards your mental, emotional health as well as your sleep cycles. Remember, this is the year of Ketu or Neptune from that perspective, so that becomes crucial. The warning that I would want to give is please refrain from any kind of overthinking throughout 2026, because that can be detrimental to your entire year. From a career, love, relationship, money perspective, just don't overthink on matters. Let the flow be. From colors standpoint, this year is going to give good indications with colors like violet, gray, dullish sort of tones, maybe even sea green for that matter on the brighter side of things. But all in all, if you guys appreciate the insights and the thoughts that I've brought here on Numerology 2026 predictions, I request you guys to please smash on that like button, subscribe to Dev Astrology, keep tuned for more astrological guidance that I bring on my channel, and feel free to share your comments and thoughts. Thank you. Now, folks, if your personal number is 8 for this year, 2026 is going to be all about the year of harvesting. Whatever you have sowed, that shall you reap is going to be the motto for this year, because number 8 is ruled by Saturn. Now, if you've put massive amount of efforts in the last few years, especially in 2025, 2026 is going to be an indicator that you are going to reap massive rewards. But if you've chosen to cut corners anywhere, if you've chosen to take shortcuts, well, then we'll have to be prepared for the consequences as well. First and foremost, from a career perspective, this year is going to be about hitting your peak in your career. As I said, it is about massive rewards, which means 2026 gives a very strong indication of big promotions, big bonuses, big sign ons coming into people's life. It is going to be about those big projects. That elusive deal that has been not coming in your ballpark is now what you anticipate to achieve in 2026. Number two, it is going to be about big businesses. Well, you guys will have to think everything at scale. It is going to be about taking that massive risk, expanding your footprint at a larger level. If you are running a small shop, can you expand your business to a bigger locality, to a bigger mode of service so that you can reach larger audience, large number of people? Expanding your business is going to become your top priority, maybe bringing in more machinery and infrastructure in your space of work. Then it is also going to be about massive layoffs, massive cost cutting on a different side of the situation. The financial implications is going to be big for you folks in 2026. And the third bit is that this is going to be an opportune period for property and investment. Being ruled by Saturn, this year is going to give you excellent opportunities for buying, especially commercial real estate. As I said earlier, think big from a business standpoint or making any kind of high ticket investments into avenues that you've never delved in before. As we move further from a love and relationship standpoint, this is going to be the year to establish power couple of sorts. You in your network would either be attracting a highly ambitious or powerful spouse, powerful partner, powerful relationship, or you would yourself come across so successful in 2026 that you, along with your partner in your social circles, will be seen as that power couple in play. And it looks very promising in terms of your relationships because Saturn tends to bring a tone of stability along with it. The second bit is that the unionship, the collaborations, the partnerships that you are going to have this year in 2026 are going to be karmic by nature, which does give the possibility that you could adhere to a stable partner walking in your life. Some sort of karmic debt, if meant with any person, you might have to pay off those debts in 2026 as well. And more importantly, for people looking to start a new journey in terms of relationship or in terms of marriage, more importantly, committed relationships, there's a good positive outcome anticipated on those regards too. The third bit is you will have to bring in some level of a balancing act. Those massive, big picture, big ticket items at your workplace, in your career, in your profession might be dangerous for your spouse, for your personal time, for your partnerships. And therefore, you will have to figure out a way to balance that work and life and make sure that you are giving due respect. Remember, Saturn expects respect in partnerships as well. Due respect to your better half. Ensure a smooth running year. From health perspective, I would want you to draw caution towards your knees, bones, joints for that matter. High stress level situations can come into picture, including hypertension and blood pressure. Now, from a caution perspective, all I would want to say is, whilst this humongous chase in your business, in your goals, those massive deals, that promotion that is coming in your life is great. But be afraid of the greed that can also mount, and Saturn doesn't like greed. As long as you are adhering to the previous point of balancing your life, you should be in a good space. From a colors perspective, black, darkish blue, darkish purple color should be a very suitable and fortunate color for you guys in 2026. Now, of course, guys, if you enjoyed the insights and the thought process that I've brought in from a numerology standpoint, where in this channel we keep on talking about Vedic astrology, I request you to please smash on that like button, subscribe to Dev Astrology, and put in your feedback as to what did you feel after watching this video. I would love to get your comments. Thank you. Now, for the people with personal year number 9, This is going to be the year of completion of sorts, because for you folks, the cycle is coming to an end. And when I say this, it means that this is going to be all about bringing closures in life, release of sorts, and humanitarian efforts. 2025 has been a busy, complicated year for you folks. And remember, number 9 is ruled by Mars. And therefore, 2026 is going to be all about decluttering. It is going to be about easing off things. It is going to be about finishing a book, closing a chapter. When we look into your career profile, the first bit is about ending certain chapters in life, closing certain things like a finale, which means that this is going to be the year where many of you will close the previous career profiles and get started in a new sphere. It could be an entirely different industry, it could be an entirely different segment versus what you've been operating, or getting into new job situations as well. For some of you, it could result into closing up our business or pivoting your business from its previous mode into a very differentiated new setup. This would also mean that many of you might embark on your retirement or fire plan in 2026 itself. By fire, I means financial independent, retire early, if I've got that acronym right. But those kind of situations are coming into play. But do not be afraid, because these new shifts, these closures are going to lead into some good, extraordinary beginnings as well for you folks. The second bit is international success of some sorts. For people who are working in foreign locations, for people who are operating in collaboration with foreign entities, or if your work career requires extensive amount of travel where you can interface with the world, or in businesses, in avenues where you can have clientele, like import export situations, like a social media where you can have a global audience. For all you folks, this is going to be a stupendous year. Success is going to come for you guys through these avenues itself. The third bit from this area is going to be about giving. It is going to be about charity. And 2026 is going to expect you to do something for the others, to share that inflow as some bit of outflow for the needy, for the people who need upliftment. And 2026 is going to give you a lot of mental and emotional satisfaction if you embark in that direction. It could be as simple as working for a non-profit organization versus working in a regular for-profit business. When we look into our love and relationships, this is the year which is going to bring that final test, that final straw, where any kind of toxic relationships, any kind of relationships that have been bringing in difficulties, unease, mental insanity, they are going to come to a closure. There is a high possibility that you might let go of such relationships, of such people in life. For many of you, there could be significant amount of transformation that comes with this relationship factor in your life, and it eventually makes you much more stronger, or deepens down your newer level of understanding towards people. The second bit is that the emotional drama is going to be more than usual if not taken any action. This is the year where you will feel that you have to shout on top of your lungs, you have to scream, you have to, yell at people to let them hear you. And that is where I'm alluding to the previous point as well. Toxic relationships must come to a closure. This is the year that will require you to be more animated as well of sorts in your relationship. High amount of energy in terms of expressing your thought process could come into picture. And the last bit is some degree of compassion. People who are in established relationships with their partner, for their children, with their parents and friends, you will realize that there is a protective sort of mindset that is also coming in your mind. And you would want to take charge of situations in your relationships. It could also mean that you might want to extend that mindset towards the broader living, and therefore action, especially towards animals in shelter, or even plants for that matter, might come into picture. It could also mean that if you see an underdog, somebody who is being bullied, you might take the stance of standing beside that person, behind that person to support them as well. From a health perspective, please be watchful on your immune system and any accidental prone, situations coming into life, because after all, number 9, we're talking about the Martian energy coming into play. The only caution that I would want to say is that avoid clinging to any toxic relationships, any difficult connections that make your life, challenging. It could also mean any emotional matters in that space, just let them go. From a colors perspective, red, gold, maroon, bright yellow are going to be positive colors for you, and they are going to give you the right strength. Now, folks, if you've enjoyed the insights and the effort that has gone into bringing this video in front of you, I would request you to please smash on that like button, subscribe to Dev Astrology, and stay tuned, because we are going to be pumping out a lot of interesting astrology related videos. And if you have any thoughts about what's been your experience, I would love to get your perspective through your comments. Thank you.